Hey, yo, and welcome to OmniDog's Vault. And now some things are popping up in the chat. I'm OmniDog, and this is OmniCat. OmniCat, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And
Good.
we're having a StreamYard kind of problem that we've been having problems with, and that is the chat in StreamYard isn't really showing up well at all if any of the questions show up. So I have it on YouTube. We both have it on YouTube. Some of your questions we may be able to put up if we get them in the StreamYard. Otherwise, we're just going to have to say what the questions are and answer them, which is not the biggest problem in the world. But it is
It's just an annoying 2020 problem, right? Yeah. We've moved beyond this with technology. Come on, StreamYard.
And thank you to Lloyd Wong for telling me that link was infected, because it was when I initially put it in the. This is about Kristen's channel, The Comic Slayer. That is her online name. In here, she's the gentle OmniCat, but out there, she's the Comic Slayer.
Slade Comics.
That's right. And she's got a YouTube channel now. The address is in the description box. I've also put it in the chat window. So that is the proper link for the Comic Slayer. And, well, for some reason, Chris Brogan, and Sam Cluxon, they both just showed up. So maybe we're okay.
Yeah, it's looking like it's finally matching the YouTube chat, I think. So
that'd be good. Then I could.
Then you can put them up. Somebody
just popped in from Sarajevo. Good evening.
Oh, awesome.
I have an international audience. That is awesome.
It's amazing.
It is awesome. That's why I need to read more European comics, because
I would like to as well. I feel like I'm totally lacking there. And what I've read, I really enjoy. So
yeah. Oh, here's a good name for the show. Happy Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
For Kristen, it is. She loves all cats at all times.
I love all animals, but yes, I do love cats.
Yeah.
You know, if you met my cats, Jess, you would love cats. You'd be like, these are cool cats.
Oh, I don't dislike cats. I just like to tease you. I just love our dogs. Cats are fine. My sister has had cats. I'm not kidding. Ever since she was out on her own. She was out on her own at 18, and the first thing she got was a cat. She's 72 now.
Oh, wow.
She's had cats from 18 years old.
Fantastic.
Except when she was in a Siamese cat phase. I let her know I was not happy with that phase.
Not a fan.
No, those things.
Is it because they talk so much?
Yeah. I think they're evil. They're just mean-spirited. They're evil cats.
I mean, I've yet to meet an evil cat. Maybe that's why I love cats. You know, everybody's always like, cats are evil. I'm like, are they? I think people are evil, and they're making their cats evil. Yeah, that's what's happening.
People are definitely evil.
Yes.
So, okay, now it's Catterdays in the Cat Cave.
It's perfect. Well, the next time when I get you to read Cats of the Louvre, right, and whatever other comic that happens to feature a cat, like Strayed, we will do Catterdays in the Cat Cave, and it's going to be amazing.
I will call it Catterdays in the Cat Cave.
Perfect.
Absolutely. And now we're getting plenty of comments. Lloyd Wong, hairless cats freak me out. I don't know that I've ever met a hairless cat. I know
They're
what he's
little
talking
aliens.
about.
Yeah.
What?
They look like aliens. They look like aliens. Yeah.
Yeah. If this is already evil, you probably can't see the cats at all.
How dare you?
And Gio, sub to your channel.
Thank you, Gio. Which, you know what? Because we were having such chat issues, I want to go back to Travis Gilmer, who said, can you see that?
Yeah.
Pop up that cute message. Thank you, Travis. That's very sweet. He said Reed cracks him up. I was dying when he was on Fangirls. He will be happy to hear that.
When he was a guest on Fangirls, what was the topic?
We were doing Halls and Reads, and we were just talking about stuff. Yeah, it was. Maddie was like crying, laughing the whole time. It was great.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah, definitely.
And Reed just bought my Mad Archives book, so thank you, Reed.
Yeah, he's excited.
Well, I wish I had an extra copy of 3 and 4 for him, because 3 is the really hard one to find.
Man,
4 you can find pretty easy.
After I messaged you about that, I looked it up and I'm like, how much are the other ones? Could we find? No, we can't get those.
No, 1 and 2 are really reasonable, but 3 and 4. 3 I put out. This was like, let's see. When did Civilization end? Was it February or March of this year? So it would have been a year ago, February-ish. And I just put out a call on the page saying, if anybody sees a copy of Mad Archives 3, please hit me up. And this is a book that is way old, and I knew I wasn't going to get it. But Eric Fedorchak, who does not live too far away from me, he and I have met in the outer reaches of Baltimore before for lunch, and he comes down to the Baltimore area from Pennsylvania to go around and hunt for books. He's one of the Omnipups. And as he was leaving the store, there was a brand new Mad Archives 3 for half off.
Oh, wow. They were like, this old book's been sitting here. Let's get it off the shelf.
Yeah, it was $200 on eBay. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
$30?
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that was really, really serendipitous. I was really pleased.
We are hoping for a moment like that with these now. It's like we have a certain list of books where we're like, okay, if we're out of town and we're in a local comic shop, not that that'll ever happen anytime soon, but the next time it happens, there's always these certain books where we're like, okay, we're looking for this, we're looking for this. And, we've stumbled upon some good stuff, and that's always the best story, right?
Oh, yeah.
The best story. Like even recently, kind of recently, we did go to one local shop. I don't even have it in here, but for everybody watching, Mind Management hardcover volume 4 is going up.
Volume 4.
Volume 4. For some reason 4. Well, I had 1 to 3 already that I just picked up half off and stuff when I could, and I just was slowly collecting them. And then of course, that's the next one that's going up in price, and I'm like, man, I'm not paying over cover for this. Oh, Reed just came in here and handed it to me.
Oh, nice.
In this room, I don't have it in here.
Can you hear that? It's just back there mocking me. Anyway, the cover on these are 20, and it's at least 40 plus now, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. It's not happening.
Those are $20.
Yeah, the cover's only $20, so which is crazy reasonable. These are nice little hardcovers,
Let me make sure I have that hardcover. Wait a second.
It's not unreasonable yet. I just didn't want to pay a double cover for it,
Yeah. Oh, did you know there's 6 volumes?
Yes, I know.
Oh, you do know. Okay.
I do know. I'm gonna have to get them all now because I'm like, I was doing it too slowly. Because I like to pick up things if we're out of town at half-price books. It's way more reasonable for me to just do that for me. And now I'm just like, I have to get them all because if this is going up for no reason. But yeah, we were just in our local comic shop and it was just sitting there. It was the only one they had too, and I was like, fantastic. What a nice feeling. What a nice thing.
It's a great feeling to stumble on something like that.
Yeah, it's no $250 book or whatever, but still.
Still, it's something that was way over cover and you wanted it and you found it.
It was great.
So what's your t-shirt today?
Are we matching?
Well, yeah, sort of.
Are.
Shirt on.
Yeah. We're totally matching.
Awesome.
On accident. I have that shirt too. It's a good shirt. It feels nice. It's very soft.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really let's see. There's lots of praise for Reed and that episode.
Oh, I'm so glad people.
Great. I love that episode. Really made my day better. Looking for more.
I'm so glad.
My abs were sore from cry laughing after that. Wow, I'm gonna have to watch this show. Fangirl.
It was really fun.
What?
It was the last one we did on the Omnibus Collectors Network. So.
Okay.
Halls and Reads from last Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
And yeah, anybody looking for more Reed and I are really doing most of these videos together on our channel. We have one video up where we did a haul from our vacation, which I think I talked about this, but yeah, because we just kind of went we didn't go super out of town, just like out of our city a little bit, and went to some places that were open and got some comics and stuff. So that's what we talk about. And later we're going to do a live show. So you guys can see me again live if you want. I know you're here for Reed though, so he's going to be on. And Reed likes to call it just shows where we're fighting. He likes to make that joke that we're always fighting, because at some point we're just back and forth bickering about something. Because that's what married couples do.
On the show or in real life or both? On the show. We're
not actually fighting. He just makes that joke.
Yeah.
Although I did recently read Will Eisner's classic, A Contract with God.
Yes.
And this live show today, we're going to talk about things we've read, things we're currently reading, things we plan to read. Okay, it's a big reads episode. And I'm going to talk about that. We have vastly different opinions. So
you and Reed do about A Contract with God?
Vastly different opinions.
Wasn't that considered the first graphic novel?
It sure was. Yeah.
I haven't read it, so I don't know. I haven't read it. No, it's part of the 80% of my books that I haven't read yet.
I would be fascinated to talk about this one with you, because It's one of those things. It's a different time, of course, and I do take that into consideration. I'll go into more later, guys. If you want to hear all my thoughts, we're going to have a live show later.
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, but I read it the other day, and I came downstairs and walked over to read, and I was like, we just went into an hour-long discussion ourselves. So I was like, oh, are we going to talk about this on the show? Because it's going to get real. So I guess it's going to get real, guys.
Here's Ride Chancellor saying, we are absolutely fighting. It's a trap, Jess. I can't, don't know where it is. Can't find it. If I can't find it, I can't read it. So I better not.
That's how that works.
It's a trap.
It's not a trap.
Well, I build this episode as question and answers and our reviews of books, just because I think people like being able to ask questions. So feel free to ask questions or talk about how Reed cracks you up, whatever. It's fine with me. As long as you guys are happy. Now, Lloyd Wong is asking, is that a variant cover? It doesn't look like Kint art.
I assumed he did all the covers, but I don't really know. I don't know the answer. Let's see. I don't see a cover credit for this book. Do you know?
I don't.
I think it kind of does. Like, if you look... It's less. It's more stylized and less sketchy, I suppose, than what he usually does. Yeah. Are the other ones? Let's see. Oh yeah, that's very clearly him. And this is pretty clearly. Yeah, it does kind of look way different.
Yeah.
I can see it though. I think I can see it in the face.
It almost looks like a silk screen or something.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love that pop of red against the black. It's good. Right. I really need to read these. I read the first volume and then I just stopped. And now I'm like, I have a reason to buy more, so I just need to buy the rest.
Yeah. I read them all in singles, so I need to go over them again in hardcovers.
Maybe we should do that for a show.
Sure. That'd be great.
Just add it to the list.
Yeah. That would be a whole show, though. All 6 volumes. Here's the question. Do you read manga?
I sure do.
Kristen does. Sure do.
I will be talking about some manga on the Friday or the Saturday Reads episode Reed and I are going to do later. I'll be talking about the new Urasawa manga, and I'm going to show you because Jess loves that, and Dementia 21, which this is pretty fascinating, Jess, and you may be into something like this. I'm not going to make you buy it, don't buy it, it's manga, but so you don't want it. But it is very super Ito vibes. It's not Ito. Oh. But they're short stories, and they all take place. I don't mean to review manga on your channel, but
that's fine. It's our show, so you can do whatever you want.
He asked, or she asked. Someone asked.
Somebody asked.
Someone asked. But it all takes place it follows this girl, and she's a home health aide for senior citizens, and it's split up into these short stories. So there's a different short story, which is very Ito, right? So here's and they have these awesome, like I love these chapter splits. Look at how cool that is. So it's real trippy art. Actually, the art itself isn't so much like, it's just good art. I like it.
I like it. It is Ito-ish, but it looks like I can follow it too, probably.
Yeah, it very like it was one of those. This is definitely for Ito fans. Do you want to see something kind of gross?
Sure.
So then there's these crazy things that happen like this. Like this guy's, those are dentures. Okay. So this old man has trouble eating. And I think his daughters like were really mad at him because when they were growing up, he was real abusive. So they kind of wanted him to die. This is all crazy, like kind of horror stories, right? So they were like, oh, we'll break his dentures so he can't eat anymore and he'll die. So they did. And then the home health aide, because she wants like good scores and she's really good at her job, she finds these dentures online that are like smart dentures, right? So she gets them for him and they like change with what food he's eating. So like they're, more tough on tougher food. And like, so they're like smartphone, but like in your mouth, right? Well, they start like multiplying and he can control people with them.
With his dentures?
It gets crazy, but that's what that is. That's from like him, like all these dentures coming out of him, and like he ends up killing people and taking over their bodies. Like, oh, look at these creepy. Oh, I love that. Like, look at these creepy cops. And he took over them with his dentures. That's why they all have crazy smiles.
I want to take over people with my dentures.
It's nuts. Fun. But I really enjoyed it. And this art, like, there's some trippy color art in the back, which I really, really like. It's just really, I had a good time with it. But, if you have problems with, like, dealing with old people and their issues, like, it's not for you, because it's tons of old people stuff. But, like, this lady, this is really gross, too. She was, like, accidentally losing stuff in her wrinkles. She kept losing stuff. And it gets to the point where literally, like, I think it's her daughter, starts like realizing she can use this to her advantage. So she can take her old mother, to stores and start shoplifting stuff because she can just hide it in her wrinkles. So she starts doing that, and eventually like it gets to the point of murder, and then she hides a whole body in her wrinkles, and it's just like nuts. So these stories spiral out of control, which reminds me of Ito. Very Ito vibes. It was a good time.
Does that answer your question, Matt?
That's not at all what you asked.
She said, do you read manga? He or she said, do you read manga? So I do not read manga. I've tried and tried again, and it's just not my thing. I have one more. See, I think I finished all my Ito. Junji Ito is a mangaka that I can read. I seem to be able to follow it easier. My problem is I can't follow the reading backwards, and then the other problem is a lot of times I'm not interested in the subject. But Ito writes horror stories that I find easier to follow, and they're really gross and weird and twisted, so I kind of dig them. But Kristen and I are going to do a cat episode eventually, and there's one manga I have left in my collection, Cats of the Louvre, and it just won an Eisner, right? Didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, and so I'll be reading that, and there must be other cat books. I'm sure there are.
I have quite a bit.
Okay, well, if I can get them on Hoop, I'll read them. We have a cat episode. I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll look into it. Well, because you like Strayed, right?
I love Strayed.
Cats of the Louvre has cats, and they're like a central kind of part, but that's not really what it's about. That's kind of Strayed, too. Like, it was about that cat, but it was about more than that, right? So, yeah, I could make a whole list, probably.
Let's have a cat episode.
I'm in.
I bet. I think that's great.
You know what? I'm noticing there's a severe lack of a Goose mini-series, because that would be perfect. You know what I mean? Like, Lockjaw had his own series, his own mini-series. Why didn't Goose ever get one? So that's a problem.
I read that.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a Flurkin variant cover. I don't buy many variants. I was like all hot on them in December, and then they got too expensive, and so. But I kept my subscriptions going to all the places that I got them from, and I feel like there was a recent I don't know if it was a Captain Marvel book or a Shield book or something, but the Flurkin was prominently on the cover with somebody saying something about the Flurkin. I'll have to go back and look. I think it may have been a Kree guy. Wait, who were the people in the movie? The Kree?
Yeah.
Yeah, it may have been like a Kree guy saying something about a Flurkin. Maybe it's a Flurkin story. I'll have to go back and look.
Oh, well, if there's one, I need to know about it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy it.
Yeah. Here's a good one. Hi, you lovely guys. Hi back, lovely
Hey.
Multiversity. Jess, is there possibly a way of reading manga from left to right digitally? I don't know. I see. It's not that I have to go this way. It's that it's also laid out backwards, so that you have to, instead of reading it like this, you read it backwards, like this.
Right to left.
Okay, wait.
Right
Now
to
I
left.
know where I am in the book. You read it, it's laid out backwards on the page too, and so it's not just that it's, I don't care if it's starting at the western end, it's that it's laid out on the page backwards, and that's what I really struggle with, is how it's laid out on the page.
Well, the good news is, for anyone who hasn't tried manga, who wants to try it, it's incredibly good for your brain to do that. Your brain does get used to, I mean, most people's brains get used to it really fast. But doing that, it's like doing a puzzle, but you're making your brain do the opposite of what it's used to. So it's really good to strengthen your brain. So that's a positive.
And that's probably something, if my wife finds out about, she's going to want me to read more
She's
manga.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because the last
Read manga every day.
years she's worked with, at Sunrise Senior Living, and she's all about the brain strengthening, something to keep your brain trained, interesting, wise, and all kinds of brain teasers and stuff. So if she finds out manga is good for your brain, I am doomed.
I'm going to have to send her a letter.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff that I'm missing, but I have such a backlog of Western comics that I just can't get into it anyway. Let's see. Weekend Geekdom says, just please read Ito's Frankenstein one day. Have you
Yeah,
read that, Kristen?
it's really good.
Is it? What's the book that's a lot of prose? Doesn't he have like a prose book with illustrations?
Not that I know of. I'm looking at my collection over here, and I'm like, I have everything, and
What's
I don't
the
have one.
latest thing, the biography of that person. There's a biography he did.
Well, there's an adaptation of a book called No Longer Human,
Oh, okay, that one, yeah.
but it's not prose. I would recommend never read it because I absolutely hated it. Don't read it. It's not horror. It literally is an adaptation of this novel that a lot of people love, and I absolutely hated. So don't read that, please. Specifically you, Jess. Do not waste your time on that manga. But
Okay.
Frankenstein is great. Like, I'd say, I think maybe a little over half the book is his Frankenstein adaptation, and then the rest are like more short stories, which I like. I like that. I love all the short stories. But yeah, Frankenstein's great. I think you would like that.
Okay. Well, I don't have a problem reading more Ito. I like him a lot, so, and I can follow him, so that's cool with me.
You know, he's also coming out with a new book on next Tuesday. Specifically, that's the day the Fangirls deal comes out, and we're going to have extra percentage off that. So just saying, if you're
on
tempted by more
IST?
Ito, yes, on IST.
Fangirls are getting deals on books before Omni Bros are getting discount codes.
That's right.
Wow. Now the tables have turned. My, how the turntables, as Michael would say from The Office.
Yeah, I was surprised. We still do our monthly deals, and we've never stopped. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
Great.
Yeah.
It's an Ito book?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Astro Boy and Lone Wolf and Cub and Blade of the Immortal, all by Dark Horse, are left to right. Okay. I do have a copy of Lone Wolf and Cub because I had heard it was left to right. So I might give that a try. Thanks, Edman40. I might give that a try as long as the pages are left out are in Western fashion. Then I can read it and then I can understand the story.
Yeah, there's also those the first paperback printings of Akira are like that too.
Right.
Akira's fun.
Yeah, I tried Monster, and everybody loves it except me. I tried it, and I just couldn't get into it. And
It's true. Everyone loves it but you.
Everybody loves
It's my
Monster.
favorite manga.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
How many books is it?
9.
That's
Not that
pretty
bad.
reasonable compared to One Piece.
I think it's one of those because I think you probably didn't even finish the first volume, right?
I read the first 2
did?
completely. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
You just, I don't know. I feel like if you can get into it, it is a great crime thriller, and you love that stuff. Crime scene tape everywhere.
Yeah, I do.
It is so good.
I did. I do love crime stuff, but I don't know. I think I get lost trying to follow it on the page, and that gets me frustrated. And I think that's what the real issue is.
I would think that played into it because I would think you would like that story.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it an anime?
It is, but you can't find it.
Oh.
Like they didn't it's not streaming anywhere. It's quite old. So I guess there's a lot of rights issues with it. I mean, you could probably legally find it. I don't do that, so I've never seen it. But I know it exists, and I hear it's really good. So
because I like anime a lot, so it's not that I have anything against Japanese comics and cartoons. I love anime. If I can find an anime that I really dig, like Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop, those are my 2 faves. And
Cowboy Bebop's so good.
I love all of Studio Ghibli movies. All of those. I still have a few. I haven't seen Nausicaa, and I haven't seen, I don't know, a couple others, but I love those movies.
They're great.
Yeah, I do love them, so I don't have a problem with anime at all.
Well, if you like anime, most anime is pretty, they stick to that source material,
Okay.
So they're pretty great, adaptations, typically, straight from the manga.
This is interesting. Ben Hamill said...
Oh, really? Fascinating.
How about that?
That makes me want to go watch it right now.
Yeah. What, who's the author of that? Would I have to type in... If I type in Monster on YouTube, I'm going to get a million things. So how do you narrow it down?
Naoki Urasawa.
Urasawa, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we now? Let's see.
I was like, are you bringing it up on YouTube right now?
No, I was on
That's
YouTube.
good to know, though.
I was on YouTube. Let's see. Watch the Monster anime instead, Jess. Okay. Now I will have Gio help me find. Gio will have it found in the next 5 minutes on YouTube and send me the link. He's amazing. Pluto is a crime thriller too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pluto's so good, too. That's also by Urasawa. I think is that less volumes? I can't see from here. It's about the same. I think there's 8 volumes. It is less.
I typed in Monster Anime and it comes up with a playlist.
There you go.
There's literally a playlist, 1 dubbed, 1 subbed. I'd rather do subtitled. I don't like dubbed.
This is good to know.
Yeah, sometimes I like dubbed. Actually, I don't have a hard and fast rule.
Yeah, I don't either. Everyone always told me, they're like, Monster's hard to find. It doesn't stream anywhere. So I'm like, okay, I never even looked it up myself. I guess I should YouTube things.
There it is.
Nice.
And I'll send you the link, Kristen, when he's done with me.
Perfect.
Okay, wait, I have to deal with somebody just a sec. Do, 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 do. Okay. Posted the link just now, but it got deleted. Okay. Well, we're okay. Did we? I mean, I'm fine talking about anime, but we also have books to review.
We do.
But I'm also fine with talking about whatever the chat wants to talk about. I would like to. What have you done with Jess? He's clearly been replaced by this bizarro Jess. I tune in late and talking manga. What?
Yeah, I did a whole manga review earlier. It was weird.
I'm just saying I like anime. I'm pretty much done with manga, but I will watch whatever anime movies and or shows that people think are cool, because I do like anime. But I don't blame you for being shocked. I'll tell you one book I'd like to talk about, because we haven't been able to figure out this one part in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the book otherwise. It's the Oracle Code. Out of curiosity, okay, we're still on this. What was your first anime, Jess? It was Cowboy Bebop.
I think that was my first one too.
Sherlock sent it to me, and he sent me the movie. He lives in Australia, by the way, but he ordered it from Amazon, sent me Cowboy Bebop, and he also sent me Samurai Champloo. I think I watched on Crunchyroll when I had a subscription to that. So I tried to get into Neon Evangelion, Genesis Evangelion, or whatever it is.
Perfect.
And I couldn't get into it. But I'm open to other suggestions. I have a whole list on my phone of things people have suggested. Let's talk about, even though you guys want to keep talking about manga, I don't know anything about it. So
it's anime now.
Oh, now it's anime?
It's just anime now.
This is a book we reviewed, The Oracle Code, and overall, I really liked it a lot, personally. It has to do with Babs Gordon, Commissioner, or maybe it was Detective Gordon at the time. She's just up on a rooftop with her best friend, and they've got computers, and they're hacking away. They're hacking into things. So she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, caught a bullet, it paralyzed her, and now she's in kind of a rehab place to get used to her new life, which will be in a wheelchair, similar to Oracle after the Killing Joke, or Batgirl got turned into Oracle after the Killing Joke. But this is dealing with young Babs, who likes to be called Babs, and the other people in this rehab asylum, and how they're all in various stages of getting better, using their limbs that they have use of better. And she makes friends with a couple of girls. She, of course, has sort of a sourpuss attitude going in, as probably I would too if I lost use of my legs. And then she gets a really odd visit from this girl, Jenna. Let me highlight so you can see it a little bit better. Jenna, she's sitting on Bab's bed there, and Jenna says she has a twin brother that's in there too, that Babs never sees. And then one day, all of a sudden, not only is the brother gone, but Jenna is also gone. And it's sort of written off by everybody as, well, she checked out. Her parents were killed in a fire, and it was just her that was left, is the official story. But Jenna says it's her and her brother. And so Babs wants to solve this question as to what happened to Jenna. Does she have a brother? What's going on in everything? What's going on? And making these friends helps pull her out of her shell, and having a mystery to solve also helps her. What did you think of this book?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I will say the art was like perfect for the story. I really like that art. I don't even remember who did the art, but I don't think I've seen that artist before. But they did a great job.
By Manuel Praetano.
Fantastic. But yeah, the art and the colors I thought really popped, and they were really nice. And it was super well done. I liked the mystery aspect. You know, the mystery she had to solve. I was also like, wait, what's going on? Because for a while you're like, does she have a brother? Like, what's happening? You know, and that's a constant mystery. I won't ruin the ending, but I thought the ending was very well done too.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It's definitely one of the better DC young adult titles, and we've read a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
It was really good.
But we do have a question. This is the second. I believe this is the second time Kristen's read this book, and I read it for the first time this week. She goes to now. Jenna goes into Bab's room and tells her stories every night. They're actually kind of to help Bab sleep. They're actually kind of disturbing stories, but they help Babs fall asleep. They help Babs fall asleep, and she still wonders what happens to Babs. And there's a kind of bulletin board that has information on it, and Babs is looking at it, and there's Jenna and her family. Now, her mother and father got killed in the house fire, and she takes the picture off, and underneath is a story, which is illustrated here, apparently by Jenna. And it starts out with 3 girls going into a haunted house, and they go into all the various rooms in this haunted house. And if you can see, there's 3 girls. If you can see there's a 4th girl right there, sort of a little ghostly 4th girl. And she becomes even more solid as the story goes along. And the story ends up, the 4 girls, the experience that would bind the 4 of them together forever. So it started out 3, but it ended up with 4 girls. So I wrote Kristen and I said, what's going on here? I don't, I'm a college graduate and I've read a lot of comics, but there are some things that I don't grasp. I get it. So what am I missing here? And Kristen said,
I said, I don't know. Again, this is my second time reading it. I read it back in April, and he asked me that question. I was like, I don't even remember this. So then I reread it, and I got to that part, and I read it a few times because I was like, I have to be missing something too. Yeah. Because it looks like that 4th girl is definitely a ghost, because she does get more solid. Like the art definitely, makes that prominent.
Yeah.
But why? So if anyone has read this or is going to read this and can explain it to us, because we're both confused.
Yeah.
And maybe there's an obvious thing we're both missing. I don't know. But I didn't get it either.
I didn't feel like it was a part of the story.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that we were confused, because it didn't really matter. Ultimately, that's what it felt like. But it is confusing.
Yeah, because Babs does uncover a huge mystery, and it's very exciting. And this was a really good young adult book. I've got a ton of them, and I'm going to start reading a bunch of them and do a 2-part video on them, because I think there's some of the best things DC is putting out right now is these young adult novels. They are really well written and illustrated. The 2 that I've talked about the most are Green Lantern Legacy and Superman Smashes the Klan, a Superman book I got Kristen to read, and she doesn't even like Superman.
And I loved it.
Yeah, and she loved it. So I need to, I will be doing more reading of these. So this is a highly, highly, highly high recommendation from me anyway.
I would say me too. It was great. It is interesting what they're doing this line, because I think a lot of people are writing it off for no reason. They hear young adult and they hear kids, and that's their problem. I think everyone watching knows better, but don't write off books for that thing, because they're really great. And I think they're like, I don't have a vast DC knowledge, but these are books when they come out, I'm like, I'm going to read that at some point, and I'm likely going to enjoy it. I don't need to know anything. I can just jump in. They have a lot of great writers and artists, like you said, that especially appeal to me and what I like. And it's just vastly different than anything else they're doing, which is really cool. I wish Marvel had a line like this. Now, I will say I think Marvel's doing it better on they had a lot of standalone series, or like All New Wolverine, I feel like could be along these similar lines, things like that. They're putting out their shorter trades of like some of their series that are supposed to appeal to like more all ages audiences.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And those kind of go in there, but it's still a little different. So this is a really cool thing DC's doing better than Marvel.
And Zach, another good one is Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, Harley Quinn Breaking Glass. That was a great book. I love that book.
That's my favorite one. That and Shadow of a Batgirl are my two favorites.
Okay, I have that, but I haven't read it.
Fantastic.
Okay, good. I have a ton of these things, and they're not expensive. You can find them like used on Amazon for $5, or I can imagine that maybe through Hoopla you can get them for free.
Yeah, they're all on Hoopla, and if you want the physical thing but you don't want to pay for it, go to your local library. They're huge library books, because they are all ages, and they can just put them on the shelf for kids and teens and whoever. They're everywhere. That's great.
Yeah, so that's our first highly high recommendation. Let's see,
People are commenting on our shirts.
Oh, they are? Okay. Listening to comic suggestion while shelling shrimp for dinner.
Ooh,
Thanks for
delicious.
keeping the company, Omni Animal Kingdom. Yes, I have Spider-Gwen on, and she has the Mary Janes on.
We did not coordinate this. That was a question.
No, it is not planned. I just discovered this shirt, and I said, oh, these are so comfortable. Let me wear this one today. That was Tim said, nice shirts, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next book, what would you like it to be?
You know what? Let's do Napoleon. Shall we? Napoleon Dynamite.
Gosh.
So,
Wolverines. God.
You guys know by now, Jess loves Napoleon Dynamite. I, too, very much enjoyed Napoleon Dynamite. So this was exciting. Reed read the first issue when it came out, and he loved it. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely getting the trade. But I 100%, I'm just going to start by saying, one, if you haven't seen the movie, I don't think you're going to get much out of this.
Oh, no.
So you got to be a fan of the movie to enjoy this. So do that. Also, where have you been? if you haven't seen it by now, where have you been? But I love the art style. It's very quirky, and I think it 100% goes perfectly with these characters. I think they got the voices pretty much down with everyone. So the characters are well developed. They're right out of the universe that we all know. But this is a great story. It starts with these two right here, these reporters coming into the small town that this is based in because what they think is a murder happened. So someone died, and they're like, there's a murder, we're going to solve it. So they have this true crime podcast that they're doing, which especially appeals to me because my favorite podcast of all time is My Favorite Murder, which is a true crime podcast. So this was extremely 2020, I think, of the storytelling. So modern and so what's happening right now, which was really cool to see, and a fun thing to throw into this universe where you're Napoleon Dynamite and murder. I never thought I would see a story like this, and I never thought I would see it work so well, because I think it really worked well. So that's part of it. But then there's also, of course, it's called Impeach Pedro. People are trying to overthrow his presidency in the school. So that is a big part of what's happening. So then they have to figure out that and go through kind of the election process again. But maybe somebody was stuffing ballots, and there's that whole mystery. So there's a lot of mystery going on that I didn't expect in this. And I think one of the first things you said to me, Jess, was you were laughing out loud at a lot of it.
There were a lot of funny panels.
And I 100% was with you there. There were so many things where I was laughing out loud, which just doesn't happen a lot. Like, I read a lot of books that are considered funny, but I don't usually laugh out loud during them. And this was very funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I super enjoyed this. And there's some bonus stories at the end that I thought were really cute too by other people, which were fun. So it was all great and fun. And if you enjoyed the movie, I think you're going to love this.
I agree. I think it helps if you can have the voices in your head, and if you can have them on the page, say them in the voices like they did in the movie. That helps a little bit. But even so, some of the stuff was just laugh out loud funny, and I really liked it. This was like, wait a minute. Yeah. I did read the last stories. This was one of the last books I read, so I had to burn through it. No. I'm thinking of Freedom Fighters. I think I may have skipped the
little extras. Oh, they were good.
I think that. Oh, I know I did now.
Yeah, there was like a whole Valentine's story that was really.
Oh yeah.
It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth your time.
Good, yeah.
And it's like short. They're little short ones, but they were, it was good.
Oh, I did read the Valentine one. This is where he has the mystery girlfriend that he takes to. Okay, the girl that.
Oh yeah, the Pedro, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I did read these. Okay, I forgot. I loved it, and to find out the mastermind criminal behind everything was really great.
Yeah.
Such a good payoff.
Yeah. I wondered what they were going to do about that too, right? Because certain characters too, you're like, man, I don't want these people to be ruined necessarily, but
right.
Yeah, they did it really well.
Yeah, I think that I really appreciated the fact that they took a chance on this book, because I don't know how many they sold, and I don't know if it's a niche crowd that would like it. I know you and I liked it. Maybe there are more people out there that like it. I hope a lot of people bought it so they do more with it. I'm
with you. And I think they were banking like a lot on nostalgia, right? Because like that's what I have for it. That's what you have for it. But it was still, this is just like it was a good story that was well written, and there was tons of character development within characters we already knew. It was just well done. It was really well done.
And like Kristen said, it made me laugh. I mean, there were some really funny moments in this, and I just really dug this book. So I'm not going to say it's one of my second half all-time favorites of this year, but it is a highly, highly recommended book from me. Oracle Code, I think, goes on my list as one of my second half favorites, and I'll read Napoleon again to see if it goes on the second half favorites list, because it is really good and it is really funny, and I need more Napoleon Dynamite in my life. I wish that Fox cartoon had continued for 12 years, man. That thing was funny.
I think it's another example of a Fox show that was just canceled before its prime, right? Like they take everything good away from us. Yeah.
I feel like they gave us a good amount of King of the Hill.
Well, that's true.
They've given us way too much of The Simpsons.
Also true.
I think I probably need to start watching Bob's Burgers, because lots of people tell me how good it is. I've just never really...
I need to watch more of it because I like what I've watched. I loved Bones when it was on.
That's not a cartoon, though, right?
No,
Bones?
it's just a show that they didn't cancel that I loved.
Yeah, I like
I'm thinking of Fox.
Too.
Yeah, Bones. Yeah.
Yeah, where they go into the computer room and like recreate all this stuff. Was that the Bones show?
Yeah, she gathered dead bones and could do forensics and stuff on the Yeah,
I like that show.
It was great.
Yeah. And Family Guy, I'd say I like about 75% of them. I really like 75% of them, but about a quarter of them are just like too crude even for me. And I
It's
was
understandable.
I was in a fraternity in college. I know crude humor is in my blood, so it's too crude for me. I don't know, and I've never watched really and cared for American Dad, but I do like Family Guy.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of cartoons because everything they've canceled for me is just like live action stuff I loved, right?
Oh, okay.
But I'm grouping Napoleon Dynamite into that because it's just another thing where they're like, no, not now. But if these things happen now, it'd be a totally different story. Like Firefly, of course.
Yeah. Here we have somebody from Portugal. Hello, Deviant Fun. Thank you for calling in from Portugal or typing in from Portugal.
What if we had people call in?
That would be funny. I wish I
Do
could
a call-in store.
Yeah, I wish I could figure out how to do that. So yeah, now I'm trying to think of other Fox shows that got canceled.
Oh, I could go on. True Calling. I adored True Calling. They canceled that on me. Dollhouse canceled that on me.
Oh, I heard Dollhouse was good.
Oh man, there's only 2 seasons. I believe they're still on Netflix. You should watch it because thankfully they knew they were ending, and though it was maybe quickly wrapped up, they still did it really well. It's totally worth your time.
Is that the one with Eliza Dushku?
Dushku, but yeah.
Oh, Dushku?
Dush, like push. Dush.
Dushku.
Dushku.
Okay.
I've corrected her last name for literally my whole life. So because I adore her, she's my favorite.
She was on the Howard Stern show to promote it back when it was on 10 years ago or 15 years ago, whenever it was on. And it sounded really good, but I never watched it just because.
So good. You would like it, I think. It's really well done.
Here's a good question. I don't think so, Bobby. Are the YA DC graphic novels considered canon?
Yeah, I believe that's a whole different universe, right? Like just a whole.
I think these are
doing its
just
own thing
like
over here.
these are Elseworlds type stories, but I haven't seen anything that fits in to any kind of current continuity. I think these are just separate little stories. I wouldn't. I mean, Superman smashes the Klan. That's set back in the 40s. Or wait, no. When is it set? It's based
I
on
can't remember.
movies. But it. Oh,
Well,
the year
the radio shows, right?
1946. Yeah, the year's 1946. Okay. Yeah. So. None of them are canon. I don't think. But everybody in America needs to read this book.
It's true.
We have 2 books left that we're talking about, and Sam Cluxon agrees with you on True Calling.
I loved it so much.
That
was also Eliza.
What's that?
That was also Eliza. They like to cancel her shows, and I get upset about it.
What was True Calling about?
True Calling was Eliza would like wake up. I think she like woke up. It was kind of a Groundhog Day thing, right? Like she woke up the next day and no, that's not it. Hold on. It's taking me a second. It's been so long, and I own them, and I love it. Okay, so she worked at a morgue, I believe. Her boss was Zach Galifianakis before he was Zach Galifianakis, right? Before anyone knew who he was, before The Hangover, and he was so good, and he was so good in it. But yeah, that was her boss. So he was great. They were great together, and she would like see a dead body, and the body would say, "Help me," and then she would like go back and then wake up at the beginning of that day because then she would have to help them not die, basically.
That is such a cool premise.
I loved it.
It's on Netflix?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know. It's on my shelf. Yeah.
How many seasons is it?
It's only 2.
Okay.
And I think the second one didn't really have an ending, if I remember right. And the second season, they introduced Jason Priestley, who was wonderful on it.
Oh, okay.
So he added a whole other element of attractiveness, but also just generally was great in it. It was so good. It get canceled before its time. It's one of those like, just like Dollhouse, just like Firefly, like these different kind of shows.
Firefly.
Yeah, these like more out there kind of shows, sci-fi, supernaturally, that people love now, But back when those came out, there just weren't enough people watching, I think. So they were like, forget that. But I think if they would have given it a few years, right? Or if they came out at a different time, now even, they would have blown up. It would have been different.
Let's see. Here's Ben Uncle says, isn't part of the whole point of the young adult line that there isn't really any previous continuity? That way the story is completely self-contained. Okay, good.
Yeah, and people like me can just jump in.
Yeah. Kristen, are you a Katie Cook fan?
I love Katie Cook. Love her.
Okay, who is Katie Cook?
She's an artist and a writer, and she's wonderful. She does these great, I don't have one near me, but she does these great like mini paintings at cons. And Reed and I got one of like us together, which was great. She did one of our cats. Like, she's so good. She's so good.
She's an artist then.
She's an artist and a writer. So she's doing a webcomic right now. I can't remember the name of it. But she's done other stuff. But I adore her art.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with her. There is also a villain who reset the day 2 who tried to make sure they died.
Oh, yeah. This is all coming back to me. I have to rewatch that now. I don't think I ever made Reed watch it. I'm going to have to make Reed watch it.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Because when Reed and I started dating, I was like, we can't date unless you watch Buffy with me because you've never seen Buffy. And he did. So.
Wow. Good for him.
I mean, I didn't really say that, but it kind of implied.
Yeah. True Calling was really good, and Jason Priestley was a nice addition to the show.
Yes, thank you. People remember the show. I never like meet people who remember the show, and I'm always like, True Calling. And everyone's like, what? So you people rock.
That was a Fox show?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, OmniCat, for bringing different titles and genres to this channel. It can't be all superheroes. That's why she's a great co-host. Been getting some ideas for the shop. Keep promoting our dear host.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Okay, so he must have a comic shop.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. That's awesome.
Where is he? Portugal or?
You know what you should stock in your comic shop? That is Hardcore Anxiety by one Reed Chancellor. A graphic guide to punk rock and mental health. Throw that in your shop.
That's right. It's a good book. I read it. Which book would you like to cover next?
Oh, let's see. Want to do Rust?
Sure.
Let's see if I can talk about this. I read this like too many weeks ago now. But let's talk about how nice these hardcovers are real quick. They're like, I don't know how to describe this.
Yeah, they're like fabric.
Yeah, they're like fabric.
And then they've got embossed stuff.
Nice shininess, and they're cute little hardcovers. And the paper's super thick. It's like real thick paper, real nice.
You're right, that is true. And
this is the first thing I notice when I'm touching books. I'm like, ooh, these feel nice. So these are really well done. I like these. And they're quite cheap. You can still get them really cheap because the cover's only $25 and you know where to find them real cheap.
Is Rust #1 on IST?
Let me check. Because I thought it was.
I have a feeling I had to get this on Amazon.
Okay. I apologize if that's true. Let's see. Rust. I'm looking.
Okay.
No, I don't want to log in. If I log into IST, I'll just spend money. Okay. No, one is on there. They're all on there.
Are they hardcover?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep, they're all on there.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, you can get these from IST.
And also Hoopla. They're all on Hoopla.
And they're all on Hoopla, too. Who is the... Oh, RKAIA is the publisher.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I think maybe Bon Idlehouse gifted me this book. He was the one that promoted it to me. And this thing, if you decide to read it, you're going to have to probably commit yourself to the other 3 books because it very much ends in the middle of the story. This is going to be...
Yeah.
I think we're going to... If I don't read it and continue to read it, I'm going to forget all about it. So I'm going to have to read this whole thing the rest of this week because it's very much a continued story. Why don't I just read from the back? Because
that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and did you only read the first one then?
I did.
Okay.
Have you read more than that?
I read the whole thing. Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah. They're quite quick too. Once you get into it, like if you can dedicate your time to 4 real quick. I read them over like a week, I think.
What's sort of interesting is it starts out with a war going on, but these soldiers are dressed like World War I soldiers. So I thought, is this a World War I battle going on? So far I don't know, because they don't give any other clues. Because they're fighting. What are they fighting here? They're fighting mechanized. They're fighting these guys right here, and this is how they look. Is who they're fighting, and the government starts building machines to do the war for them, but it looks like the enemy also has some machines, like this big kill bot. Would you say this is from the enemy side, right?
Yes. Yeah, they were like war machines.
Right. And they pretty much can take out anything, and all of a sudden you see streaks in the sky on this battleground, these streaks in the sky, and they're these young people with goggles, these like young boys with jetpacks on their back, and they can destroy the enemy and the enemy's machines. And then it jumps into the present, but I don't know when the present. I don't even know what world this is. The present, and it's in on a farm, and the guy is trying to put together a robot that he's found pieces for to help him with chores around the farm, because his dad's not there. He's writing a letter to his dad. Don't know what happened to his dad, but one of the jet boys from 50 years ago or whatever all of a sudden comes crashing through his barn, and chasing after him is one of these giant kill bots. And these are from like 50 years ago or longer. I would say, well, I guess 50 years ago. And this killbot is clearly trying to kill this little jetpack guy. His name's Jet Jones. So the art and the coloring I really liked. The art's good, and then I like the tinted coloring of it. It makes it seem like a farmland and like a battlefield.
Like a sepia situation.
Yeah. And so they're trying. The farmer and the Jet try to take down this big, huge killer bot. And so it's really the story of how Jet stays on the farm to try and help him. Because the barn got destroyed trying to kill the big kill bot, Jet feels like he owes a debt to the farmer, and he doesn't know how much. The farmer doesn't know how much longer his son's going to be sticking around. It's all about. Jet finds out that the farmer's trying to rebuild one of these robots and objects to it, saying that its code is for it to be a killer bot, that it's going to, it'll look, the size of a human, but he's coded to destroy people. And he says, you really shouldn't be building that. And the guy says, well, I'll code it differently. And so this is where this book sort of grabs you enough that you're going to want to read the next 3, because I find it interesting that there's a little kid with goggles that jets around and was part of a war effort, and 50 years later, how is he still around, and how is that big giant killer bot still around? And the way it ends is very much sort of up in the air. It's not a one and done. You're going to need to read the next 3.
4 and done. Yeah.
4 and done.
Yeah, and I will say, as someone who's read through it all now, you always wonder, is that ending going to land? And I think it really did.
Oh, good.
It was a really heartfelt story that was very interesting. And that whole mystery aspect of the first one, how it plays out and stuff is pretty fascinating. It was just unlike anything I've read. I really, really liked it.
Good. Okay, good. That's good to know. I will grab those other 3 and read them in the next couple days. Okay,
Definitely.
cool.
And I flew through this. I mean, all of them are pretty, there's minimal dialogue for a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
As you can see here. It's not every page, but then some of them are just action-y, and I really enjoyed the art too. It was really good.
Yeah, it was good action art too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Rust. And Mary M is saying that Dementia 21 is on Comixology Unlimited.
Oh, nice. It's worth it.
Wait, what? What happened here? Okay. It seems like an interesting steampunk graphic novel, and the art looks great, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Well, Graphic Man has a good question. Who keeps charging the battery on a 50-year-old robot? They do have these batteries that pop in and out of their heart, and that's what keeps them going. T-Lar Blunt is in the chat.
Oh.
You are just in time for the question and answer part if you want to ask questions. How's the summer of DC going for you, T-Lar?
We got to get him to read some of these young adult things.
Yeah. So who keeps charging the battery? Deviant Fun says the sun. So I'm gonna have to go back. I don't think I haven't gotten to that part yet about the batteries.
You do learn more about that.
About the battery?
Yeah.
Yeah, the batteries are in the center of the chest of this little kid, Jet. His name's
very
Jet.
Tony Stark. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He just sort of pulls it out, an old one or a newer one, and pops it back in. It's going great. Nothing to see here. Thanks for asking. Everything is fine. And Hayden wants to know how your elephant Stampy is doing, Tyler, that you won the other day for calling in on Crime Corner. Hayden's been asking that a lot. He's very invested in your elephant. So that was Rust. It definitely deserves a read, and I am all in on finishing it. I'm gonna try and get that done. I'm trying to think what I have. I don't think I have any big reading responsibilities this week, so this would be a good week for me to read Rust. I was just wondering something about OmniDog. Why are your shirts so good, and how is the Hellbat action figure?
I mean, my shirt's pretty good, guys.
Yeah, I like her shirt a lot.
I mean,
my Hellbat action figure is doing well, thank you. I think it's something your collection could really use. I'm not trying to twist your arm or anything, even though I am, but I think you could. Your collection would benefit from a Hellbat. It's a very nicely made figure. Jess, did you used to watch Lindsay Murphy on Fox 5? As a matter of fact, my daughter interned for her in college. My daughter's major was sports journalism, or not sports journalism, broadcast journalism, and she interned for Lindsay Murphy for a summer. Do you have I don't even watch television anymore, really. What's Lindsay Murphy up to now? Is she out where you are? Is she on the air out there? She was very nice to Kelly. Kelly loved her.
Someone is mentioning Tyler and Dr. Pepper. Tyler, I have a question for you. Are you worried about the shortage of Dr. Pepper right now? Because there's been a lot of talk about it. and I'm scared for you.
Where is that question?
Oh, someone's just referencing Dr. Pepper and Tyler, and I know he loves it.
Oh. All caps Tyler equals 8 to 10 Dr. Peppers already consumed.
Definitely don't consume that many. There's not enough. People are panic buying Dr. Pepper, apparently.
They are. That's what I read. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tyler may have laid in a supply and is doing all right.
That's good. That's
I think that's what he told me. For someone as addicted to Dr. Pepper as he is, he better lay in a supply.
Better.
That's one of the crazier things I've noticed that's gone on a shortage for it.
Yeah, he better ration it.
I don't know. I really do think he drinks 8 to 10.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I knew that she married a ball player. Kelly talked about him. Oh, you don't know if she's still on TV? She's a very nice person. She was very nice to Kelly. Here's the
We've
question.
turned into talking about local news anchors. Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah, we've turned to talking to...
I could go on about that personally, but...
Yeah, I bet you could. Let's see. She was in college from 2009 to 2013. And I would guess her internship was probably... Wait, she graduated 2013. I would guess it was between her sophomore and junior year. So somewhere around 2011, I think. On the way, thank you for asking. Many people say I'm a scalper hoarder, but I won't be flipping them for a profit. I also won't be selling them for cover price.
Good for you.
Good, Tyler. What? Oh, here it is. There is a lot of fear and uncertainty right now regarding Dr. Pepper. It's because it is more important than toilet paper. I've procured around 12 packs, and I'm ordering another 5 to 6 packs.
Good.
Now I want a Dr. Pepper, of course. Here's a good one for you, Kristen. If you can recommend one indie
Just
title,
one.
what would you recommend?
That's easy. Giant Days.
Oh.
Giant Days. It's done. You could read it all right now. And it's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you happy in these trying times. Look at this great art. And it's bright and colorful. And you're going to have fun. It's 3 best friends getting through college and life and shenanigans. And speaking of books that make you laugh out loud, this is one that constantly makes me laugh out loud. And I can reread it and still have a great time. So that's Giant Days. That's my recommendation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine would be On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden.
Ooh, that's good too. I have the right here. There you go. That's what it looks like. Just happen to have this nearby. I'll show you some art. We both highly recommend On a Sunbeam. It's fantastic. I've read it multiple times, and I tend to not reread books, but that's how much I love it. It's very, very good. I'd say these are 2 great recommendations. 1, 2 of my favorites. I love Tilly Walden. She's one of my all-time favorites. This is a favorite book of mine, and so is Giant Days. So Giant Days is more light and fluffy and funny. This is more dark and interesting and kind of sci-fi-y. And you're going to have a good time with both. So pick up both. That's what we recommend.
Right on, man. And Raz thinks there's a conspiracy. That poll was too smooth. Just the plan.
Have to have Giant Days over here, On a Sunbeam over here.
Yeah, On a Sunbeam is amazing.
It's really great.
Gosh, was writing this post and you guys started talking about the book. What book? The book.
On a Sunbeam?
Speaking of Giant Days, wanted to thank you, OmniCat, for the recommendation throughout the year. Super fun book and needed in these times. Right?
Nice. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It is it really is one of my go-to, even if I need a palate cleanser, if I just read something super dark and I'm like, I can't breathe anymore. Giant Days is it. It's going to put you in a good mood, and you can just jump into it kind of whenever and have a nice time. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. It definitely is needed right now.
I haven't read all of Giant Days, but I have read all of Lumberjanes, and that is also a great palate cleanser, have fun type of book.
Which is also right here. Yeah, Giant Days is a blast. That's another great, or Giant Days, Lumberjanes, they're both a blast. That's my point. These are actually like, now that Giant Days has ended, this is my favorite ongoing series right now. Because it's still just such a bucket of fun, always.
It really is.
And you can jump into these whenever. So if you just pull a volume or an issue, you can just dive in and have a blast. These are both on Hoopla. You can probably get them both at your local library if you don't want to spend money, or you can't.
Oh, they're so nice. They are so nice, those volumes. Raz, I think volume 13 just came out?
13 just came out. 14 is the final volume. It comes out in October.
Oh, okay.
So after 14, Jess and I will have to have a talk about Giant Days.
I'll have to read them all.
Yeah.
Okay. Deal.
Done.
Sam, who continues to know way too much about my life than I'm comfortable with. Jess, did you ever meet Chris Isaac? He was at school the same year as I was, but I never ran into him. I know he's from Stockton, and he went to UOP, which is in Stockton. I think we were on completely different areas of campus because he didn't play any type of music in a dining hall or a place where people could eat or show any kind of any kind of musical prowess. When I was in college, it's when I got out of college that he really got popular. But I loved his TV show. His TV show was great. I think that was Showtime. He did a really good job on that TV show. Here's a good question about Lumberjanes. Do you know if we're getting more to the Max editions?
I believe so, because this last one came out a few months ago. They've been taking a long time to come out, but I think that's just boom. And now it's even worse. So there hasn't been another one solicited, to my knowledge. Doesn't mean we're not going to get more. I think they're selling really well from what I've heard. Also, there's been 6, so they have to be selling okay.
Yeah, they must be selling okay. I think Lumberjanes is something that sort of appeared under the radar, but every retailer loved it and really promoted it to their customers. I know Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, I know Steve really hyped it up to me. And of course, 12 years later or whatever, it took OmniCat to get me to read it. But I think that retailers really got behind Lumberjanes.
Yeah, they're great with like kids too, because they really are true, fantastic all ages stories for everyone.
Let's see.
Oh yes, Zach's asking about the Giant Days hardcovers. Yeah, they've been discontinued at 3. So if you're interested in getting into it, you don't have any of them, just get all the trades. I actually have the hardcovers and then the trades that come after. Yeah, they didn't sell well enough, sadly.
That's crazy.
You guys didn't listen to me and you didn't buy them.
Well, I've got all the trades.
And they're nice trades. Boom puts out good quality trades.
Lumberjanes Max #1 seems to be out of print. What nonsense is this?
That's some nonsense.
That is some nonsense.
I will say, hopefully it's not actually out of print. Right now especially, so many things go out of stock.
Yeah.
For periods of time and then they come back. So I would hope they're going to keep that evergreen. But I don't know. I will also say the Lumberjanes trades are even better quality than the Giant Days ones. They're very thick cardstock. So I know not everybody loves trades, but they're nice quality.
Let me look up Lumberjanes. 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 Volume 1. Show me to the max. To the max. It's still available on Amazon, Roz.
That's good. He said it wasn't on Amazon UK, so that sucks.
Oh,
but
Amazon
it sounds
UK.
available.
Okay, well, it's available on Amazon US. So to me, that means, I don't know what that means to me as far as I don't know what happens to British Amazon if American Amazon has it. So I don't know.
I would look into other sources that you have where you're at and see if it's available somewhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe Book Depository or something. People are helping him get it. It's good. Good job, Zach.
Good. Whoops.
Should we talk about this last book?
Sure.
Do you-
I lost track of where I was here. Okay. Okay. Freedom Fighters.
I have a lot to say.
I'm interested to hear what you thought about Freedom Fighters, because this is, first of all, a superhero book, and we know the Queen of the Indies generally doesn't read superheroes.
That's not true, but okay.
Well, I mean, how much? I know, but how much of your time, how much of your collection do you think is superheroes?
A whole calyx, at least.
Oh.
This is my Marvel calyx.
All right. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about then. Okay, let's start over. Freedom Fighters, a book about superheroes that might appeal to Kristen because she reads lots of superhero stuff, but it is DC old-time superheroes who get resurrected into the current times. I didn't grow up with these superheroes. These were superheroes like Phantom Lady, Doll Man, Uncle Sam, Human Bomb, Phantom Lady, Plastic Man, they're used as for the Nazis. But the premise is that the Condor, Black Condor, the premise is this. Actually, I didn't even know this book was ongoing. It's a 12-issue book where the Nazis won World War II. This is set on Earth X. Nazis won World War II. They have taken over America, and the Freedom Fighters are those characters who I named. The Nazis destroyed them in like 1960, and then a few years, and the spirit, Uncle Sam is considered the spirit of the American spirit of the people. And so he fizzled out when everybody lost hope, and that the Germans had won World War II. So this takes place in I don't know if you could say it's current times, but
it felt like an imagined current time.
Yeah, it's from Earth X, so it's one of the Earths, that we were supposed to have gotten rid of with Crisis on Infinite Earths 25 years ago, but Earth X still exists, and it's got Human Bomb, Black Condor, Phantom Lady, Doll Woman. So they destroyed the Freedom Fighters, and now new Freedom Fighters have come up. They're trying to rally the American people to turn against the Nazis, which will raise the spirit of Uncle Sam. So I'll show I can show some art and read from the back of the book, and then we can hear what you thought about it, Kristen. How about that?
Yeah, I'd also like to know what you thought about it.
Okay. On Earth X, the alternate world where the Nazis won World War II, the 1960s saw the extermination of the last of the metahuman resistance with the death of the original freedom fighters at the hands of Hitler's sadistic stormtroopers, the Plastic Men, with two S's in plastic, so they're like the SS guys. But in the present day, a new group of freedom fighters in occupied America rises to end Nazi opposition once and for all. To have any chance of victory, this new team has to bring back Uncle Sam, who's been gone ever since the original fighters fell. Reviving Sam will require daring feats to inspire Americans to believe in freedom once more, but the Nazis, led by the son of Adolf Hitler, have a superweapon of their own. Can even the combined might of the freedom fighters and a restored Uncle Sam stand against the last son of Krypton, known as Overman? This is a great splash page right here, showing how they overtook Mount Rushmore and put in their own heroes. So first of all, I thought the art was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought and here's Overman. I thought Adolf Hitler II has a really masochistic, he's sadistic son, Adolf Hitler III, and he's shown as being very sadistic, and he's the one who's supposed to inherit the Reich. But I found it a lot of fun to read. I think it would have been more fun to read in a different atmosphere than I'm living in right now. Because I want to say that I'm living in, because I don't want to drag everybody else into it. But the way I'm looking at America right now is not the way I've looked at America before. And I felt like this had really good intentions and really good heart. And if I had read it a few years ago, I would have really been into it. Maybe if something happens and I read it again next year, I will really be into it. I think it's my problem, and I think
it's not.
It's not.
Not your problem.
The current atmosphere doesn't have me being the rah-rah U.S. citizen I used to be. I read a book like this and I want to believe in it, but I'm having a hard time believing in it like I could have. I thought that the reveal of what Overman really was cool. I think it's interesting that on Earth X he fell into German hands. I liked the replacement heroes for the original heroes. But I just can't get over the thought that my heart wasn't into it. And it's not Robert Venditti's fault. I thought he wrote a good book, but my heart just wasn't in it.
I think that's fair and well said. I agree with that part of it. I want to clarify, I do read superheroes and I do like superheroes. And most shows, we've read at least like one superhero book.
We have. Sometimes I just do stupid things. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying. So it's not my dislike for this book, of which I have a lot of it, was not because it was a superhero book.
Okay.
I feel like maybe if I had some sort of nostalgia for this team, because I'd never even heard of them, maybe I'd feel different, right? Maybe if I read them back then and they were coming back and I'd be excited for it. I don't know, because that's not me, right? Because the entire time I felt like it was so cheesy. The cheese factor was off the chain. It was like,
off the cheese chain.
Not to mention Doll Woman. Her power is to be the size of a doll. I just thought that was so stupid. I couldn't get over that. I found none of the characters interesting. I don't think we learned a lot about them either. Like, it was just nonstop action, right? Yeah. And my big thing, if I'm reading a superhero book, if I'm reading any book, I care about the characters more than anything else, right? I'm a huge character development person. If you don't have interesting characters, if I don't care about you, I'm not going to care. And I didn't learn anything about them, right? Like, I felt like I didn't learn much of anything. I feel there's one character where we kind of learned some stuff, which I
feel
also
like
kind
we
of had.
sort of learned about Black Condor a little bit.
Yeah, and I kind of had problems with it. I just had some 2020 issues with like, I don't know. There was a lot of like sacrificing of certain characters. And, like, why I gotta be that character? There was like problems there, I think. But mostly I didn't care about any of the characters. I thought they were very cheesy. The Uncle Sam thing, I just hated everything about that. I didn't find that interesting at all. And his lines were just the most cheesy things ever. Like, let freedom ring. Yeah, just like everything you can think of is what he was saying. And it was just like, oh, what am I reading? So it felt like, to me, it was trying very hard to be something that did not at all hit for me. Maybe that has a lot to do with the time as well. So I can certainly see that. But I also think we got no character development. That's how I felt. We kind of learned about like one character and that's it. And I didn't really care. I still didn't really care about any of the characters. I also will say the sadistic Hitler, the third Hitler or whatever, I hated how he called his dad daddy. Okay, like it creeped me out every time it happened. And it was like, why is this happening? He was clearly horrific, but like that put it on another level where I was just like, this is just creepy for being creepy's sake. Like, didn't like that. I didn't want to see him skin people alive. Didn't love that.
No.
Pulling fingers out of his pocket. Like, there's just like some grotesque things. And I think it wasn't just like I can handle violence. We just talked about Ito. Like, I can handle gross things. But this is like a group of people that existed. And I think that just took it up to another level where I'm like, I have no interest in seeing Nazis or what they did or what they could have done, right? I have no interest. And there's a lot of that. And that just kind of grossed me out. So I just found it very cheesy. I didn't care about the characters. I thought the superheroes were cheesy. And the Hitlers were just too much. It's too much for me. Okay. And Uncle Sam. So I didn't love it.
Well,
Yeah. Also, stop saying daddy. For real, stop saying daddy. It was like every page. He was like, daddy, daddy. And I'm like, ew, is it your daddy? I don't even understand that.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy.
I'm like, you're old. Don't say that.
Yeah. Okay. I can see all that. Yeah, I'm certainly not going to argue with you about that. No, I agree. I understand what you're saying completely. Those are all valid points. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I was just reading it. I was like, oh, Jess and I are going to fight about this.
No, not at all.
Good. I love what you said, though. I think it's hard to read this sort of thing, too, in this period of time, at least for me as well.
Yeah, for me, yeah. Yeah, it was tough. And it made me feel bad about how things are. Because I remember growing up, like, when I was growing up, I was happy with the way things were, and I knew things needed changing, but I felt like things were changing, but it feels like we've regressed. And I just am not, I'm not in the proper frame of mind to read a sort of rah-rah book like this.
Well, and that was the thing too, right? It was the whole point of it was just like, boo Nazis, which of course, yes. But then let's take back the America we all love. And it's like, that's hard to get around right now. Like,
yeah.
So it already felt cheesy and unrealistic. And then it was that added element that was like, oh, this is really like not working for me in 2020.
Yeah. Lloyd Wong has a good question. Let me go get that book and see. I think it is. Is this the same Uncle Sam that Alex Ross worked on years ago? Yeah, I'm almost positive it is. These aren't original DC characters. These are characters DC bought back when these companies went bankrupt in the 40s or 50s or something, like the Human Bomb and Phantom Lady and Doll Man and stuff. So they weren't in the continuity of Superman and Batman. And DC has at times tried to bring them back, not really successfully. Let me see if I can put my hands right on the Uncle Sam book. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. Alex Ross drew it, and clad in star-spangled rags, a mystery man named Sam wanders the streets of an anonymous American city, struggling to remember his true identity and the purpose in his life. But he's plagued by inner voices, and a parade of icons come to life that carry him on a time-traveling journey into the dark heart of America, hinting at his own violent past. Gosh, I haven't read this in forever. So, I mean, and this is Alex Ross art. I will say I don't blame a writer for hopeful writing. If somebody's writing something saying that we're hopeful about something, you know, I am for that.
Yeah, I think we can all get behind hope.
Yeah.
That's certainly not what I felt from Freedom Fighters, though.
No.
It was just kind of like, it felt like fighting Nazis for fighting Nazis' sake.
Yeah, I'm going to have to read this book because here they are on an Indian reservation, and oh man, and here's a lynching.
Yeah, this sounds like a problem.
Well, I
maybe a 2020 problem.
I think this is how Uncle Sam is remembering his past and all the bad things that happened. They're not sugarcoating it. I think they're bringing it right to the forefront about what was bad about America and what was good about America. But it looks like it's covering the bad part first.
Still maybe not a happy 2020 read.
What's that?
Still maybe not a happy 2020 read for you.
No, I may be reading Calvin and Hobbes for the rest of 2020.
That's a good idea. Pick that up with Giant Days.
Well, I do have all Giant Days. I just ordered or maybe I have 13. Maybe it already came in. Graphic Man. Yeah, Fawcett is where those characters are from. Very good. Good pickup. Have you some thoughts on Hickman's Shield run? Have you read that, Kristen?
I haven't.
It's really good. I enjoyed it. It's part of what I considered my. I read Hickman, then his Avengers. I sprinkled in some of his Ultimate stuff. Then I read Hickman. Then I read Hickman Fantastic. Hickman Fantastic Four. Then I read Hickman Avengers. I read some of his Ultimate stuff in there, and it all led up to Secret Wars. And then I read all the Secret Wars books. Was a chore, some of them. I liked a lot Hickman's Shield. I think you should probably go back to my video and watch it because it was like over a year ago that I read it, and everybody knows what a great memory I have. Secret Warriors is what I read too. First I read Hickman's Secret Warriors, then I think I read Shield. I don't know. There's a reading order that you can get online, but Shield was really far out there as far as the origins of Shield and who was in charge of Shield and Shield's ultimate purpose. And I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. Oh, and here's somebody that watched the Hickvengers video. I bought Avengers World. Oh yeah, Avengers World was really good. And I'm enjoying Omni too much more now. What are your thoughts on currently X-Men run from Hickman? I've only read the hardcover House of X, Powers of 10. I really loved it. I really loved it. So I thought it was well done. And now I'm collecting all the Dawn of X trades that I'm going to read next, and then I'll be able to give you more of an answer. But I loved the first thing, Powers of X. Wait, what is it? House of X, Powers of 10. My little niece is American-born Chinese, well, half Chinese. Read Jean Yang's book today and loved it. That was the first thing I ever read by him. See how good we are at grabbing these books? That was the first thing I ever read by him, and I thought it was, oops, that's really racist. On purpose, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great little book. I love this book. This was the first one. Who's this one? First Second, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. I love this book a lot. Everybody should read this. It is really a good book, and it's probably time for me to reread it. This is the problem. Now I got about 10 books that I need to read, and I haven't. I have so many books I need to read.
Story of our life, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's a good problem to have. Let's see. If you're a Hickman fan, highly suggest his current Image series Decorum. Hasn't been collected yet, but it's deep sci-fi featuring polite assassins. Decorum.
Okay.
That sounds cool. Yeah, here's Aiku, who keeps track of my reading. Yeah, the Dread read-through as well, and Daredevil, and. I've started my second Dread book, so I'm on my way with Dread. I think I'm going to finish Dread before I move on to Daredevil. Yeah, Aiku keeps track of what I'm supposed to be reading.
There's like an Invincible one too, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing that with the Omni Bros.
Yeah. Gotta write these down, man.
Yeah. Which Dread book? I am on Case Files 5. That is the second book. The first one I read was a collection of Judge Death stories and stuff. That's the one I started with. Now I'm on Case Files 5. Yeah, I know. Invincible. Good. Now you know how I feel. Stop it, you two. I've added 3 books to my IST cart so far during this stream.
Bobby, I have to know what they are.
Yeah. What
Tell
are
us
they,
what they are.
Bobby? Absolutely. Tell us what they are. Okay, here's a question for you, Omni.
Oh, easy answer. Haven't read it yet.
Oh.
No, just sitting there. You know, we have a lot of books we haven't read. That's why I should have not let Reed move this desk, but it did. So now you can see it and how I haven't read it, and it's just been sitting there.
I
It's
haven't
one of the
read my
ones.
statics yet either.
Oh, well, good. Good. It's both of us.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll do that sometime.
that'd be good because
Yeah.
I love Mike Allred, and I think Peter Milligan's the writer. I like him too.
I like them as well, so it gives us an excuse, right?
Good. Let's do it. Case Files 5 is amazing, although in the start of it, some of the lettering was hard to read for me. Okay. Okay, yeah, I understand that. Some of the lettering. I get that. It's hard for me too, some of that stuff. It's real tiny. I've actually got to get going for dinner. Oh, this is what Bobby's bought. Good choices.
Really good. So good. Well, Bobby, let us know next time what you thought about those.
Good choices. Really good choices. I have to get going for dinner, but this has been great as usual. And we can feel good that we influenced Bobby to buy some really good books. Great.
It's perfect.
Really great. So Kristen has a new channel, and the link is actually, I wonder if the link is still,
if it works.
If it works here.
You gonna test it? I'll test it too.
You want to? There's the link for Kristen's channel.
Oh,
it's
okay.
also in the description of this video, and it is called
The Comic Slayer. You will see my husband, Reed Chancellor, who wrote Hardcore Anxiety right here, and Drew. We're probably going to go live in about at the top of the hour here.
Oh, well, it's a good thing for getting the story.
Well, we've thought about, just whenever I'm done with this. So we'll probably go live at the top of the hour. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. We're going to talk about our Saturday reads. So what we've read during the last week, what we're currently reading, and what we plan to read. and we'll see if we actually read anything we plan to read. I'm real bad at that, but but you know, it's fun to talk about. So if you want to tune in there, I'm probably going to be live again. If you want to see more of me, check us out there. And apparently everyone thinks Reed's hilarious. It's because he is, but everyone agrees with me. I knew that.
And of course, the link in the chat works. So good.
Awesome. And of course, Real Big Cohen, who's the resident ska fan in the house. Reed and I love ska, so if you want to go over there and talk to us about ska, we will be happy to take your ska questions. Reed especially knows everything about ska, so that'll be fun.
I knew about 80s ska. I don't know anything about current ska.
That's fair.
Okay. And you can find me, OmniDog, on OmniDog's Vault on YouTube and on OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram. And you can find the Comic Slayer on Instagram too, right?
Yeah, where you finally followed me after last time when I publicly shamed you for not following me. It worked, and I'm so excited. So you can follow us both there, where we follow each other.
And public shaming works on me, as you can see.
Apparently.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching. The chat was great today. Really appreciated all the good questions, and we read some really good books, except for the last one. But 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5. What did we read?
3 out of 4. Yeah, that's right.
3 out of 4, and we read some really good ones, so that's good.
Yeah.
But thank you for tuning in. Please give the channel a like. Please subscribe, and feel free to comment. We both reply to comments. And let's see, tomorrow's Sunday, so at noon Eastern time, I have an Omni Bros show. And
that night on the same channel, you can see Fangirls Assemble at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be talking about Lady Killer and Postal.
Oh, good.
A great double whammy.
Great double whammy.
Yeah.
What time is that? 8?
8, yeah.
I'm watching.
Awesome.
I want to know what you guys think of those books, because I love them both. So
spoiler, I love them both too.
Oh, good.
It'll be good. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for watching after this, if you're catching it when we're not live. And thank you to my co-host. And peace and love. Peace and love. Thank you, thank you, thank you.